man, been over a year now. Crazy that I've been documenting my journey for the last 380 days here on YouTube. In the beginning, I was doing vlog style videos, and then since around day number 198, I started doing lives every day. So now pretty much I go live every day. So make sure to like and subscribe if it's your first time. And usually what I talk about is what happened the day before and what's going to happen today. And so, and usually I talk about a topic that's related to that. So yeah, yesterday, worked mostly on trying to get my jeweler's site up. Right, like one of the things that he wanted me to fix. By the way, guys, there's a lot of traffic around here, so that's why it's noisy. Hey, sir, hey, King Cookie, welcome back. Hey, sorry that I'm gone for a while. It's all good, man. It's all good. All good, man. Look at these clouds, though. Crazy. But yeah, one thing. So yesterday I mostly worked on that, on the website for HZ Diamond Center here in Hamilton and Ancaster. And it took me a while. It took me like almost the whole day. And the whole day I was kind of feeling like, man, like felt bad for my wife and kids. Like, like I feel like I should have given them a life that's, abundant and not being restricted by money, and also seeing my wife in a lot of pain. I was like, man, I got to do something. If I had the money to put her into chiropractor or like physio, should be much better. So I was just feeling like really down, like, man, why am I even doing this? I could be making so much money, like doing something else. And just like I was feeling really overwhelmed and felt like giving up, and yeah, it's just like I couldn't help myself. I was like definitely trying to hold back the tears, and I couldn't help myself by letting them go. And my wife and daughter seen me, and they came to me and supported me. And I realized that every founder who's building something, sometimes it might take a year, 2 years, 3 years before something really big happens. And some people are working full-time jobs just like myself while they're building something, right? So sorry, I'm just about to cross here. Give me 1 second, just about to cross. So yeah, and so it's not easy, it's not gonna be easy, right? But you gotta know, like, surround yourself with people that truly care about you, that love you, and that that you love as well. And just know that you're doing it for them and for whatever your mission is, right? Whether it's for humanity, whether it's for whatever it is that you're doing. Somehow, if the why is big enough, you'll keep going, right? King Kukim says, damn, you have 600 subscribers. Yeah, thank you guys for everybody who who's subscribed over the last, I don't know how many days I've been building this. Since I've been going live, I've been getting more subscribers for sure, because I'm interacting, and more people will come to the feed. But yeah, as I was saying, if you guys are struggling right now, you're going through some sort of pain or discomfort, just know, like, read stories of like biographies and autobiographies, people who have been where you are, who've maybe they are in school or something like that, and they started something, or maybe they're working a full-time job, maybe they have a family, different challenges. Maybe they grew up in a time where there was war, right? Or they lost their parents when they were young, right? I'm just reading now James Dyson, his autobiography, and his father died when he was only 8, and that really hurt him, right? And he was the youngest of 3, and so he had to grow up with a single parent. And then not too long after that, probably like another 10 years later, his mother died. So it's like you might be able to resonate with that and how they got through it, right? Jada Orcut, hi, says hi. Hey, welcome. So just that's why it's helpful to read stories like that, or to even go watch like a documentary of like somebody who who's inspiring, or read history, of like real people who've gone through some challenges, right? Even in the Bible, whether you believe it or not, there's definitely stories in the Bible that where you're like, holy crap, like how did these guys get through that stuff and still kept going, right? Because they had a bigger vision, a bigger mission than what it is that they were doing. Ken Kukim says 2x divided by 3x. That's funny. Yo, what's up? So just remember, remember why you started in the first place. Surround yourself with people that you love and care about, that you're building whatever it is that you're building for. And don't give up, Even though for me, I was like, man, like, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I still doing this? Right? And yeah, when you see somebody go through so much pain, even physically, like my wife has, and still go for her kids and and myself, it's like, how can you not? And all I'm doing is like working and building a business, and and there's other people that are suffering in other countries, that maybe are going through war, or they're going through some extreme poverty, where they're living in huts or even in tents. Like I see people even here downtown Hamilton, people like drugged up on like crack or meth or whatever, and it's like, it's sad, because it's like, man, and you know what I mean? So it's like, there's always somebody that you can look at that a lot of times that we dread the worst case scenario. We don't want to confront it, and that's what makes us feel like depressed, because we're like, oh man, I don't want that to happen, or we're afraid of something like that. But actually just look at what is the worst case scenario. If whatever happens you're scared of fearing, or that making you depressed, let's say you fail at whatever it is that you're building, what's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is what? You die or something, right? You go to, like, what is it, right? Because even if when you go through that scenario in your head and you feel it, experience it in your mind, your imagination, there's always somebody out there who has an even worse situation than you're in, right? So King Kukim says, I thought my mother and father were gonna break up because my father always charged from someone and never came back for like 2 days. Dad was scared, but they came back because my mother thought he was. Oh, interesting, man. Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard when you're going through certain things that you can't explain. Texting to another girl, but he's just texting his manager or something at work. Yeah. Hey, man. Parents, if you have, if you're going through some stuff, I see my parents as well. Like, they were going through their own challenges financially, my dad and my mom. And yeah, it's hard to see that, and it did make me feel some sort of resentment towards my dad growing up, because I would see them, kind of fight and argue. But, and I kind of carried that on as well, in terms of in my own relationships. And, I seen the pain it caused my children. So, you definitely, if you're aware of it at this age, and you're seeing certain patterns, learn from that, and then apply it in a different way to your own life, where it actually supports you and not, you repeating the same patterns, right? So that's a big thing. Anyways, what else? Yeah, so like I said, if you're a founder watching this, keep going. I know this is my message every single day, and it's really my message to myself, and to anybody else here that's watching this on the replay. It's like, you don't know whose life you're going to impact based on your decision to keep going, based on your decision to not, give up, based on your decision to actually, remember your why, and not succumb to the trivial challenges in your life, because some people, they, like I said, they have a way worse situation than you, right? There's always, right? So just remember, it's not If you're, I think it was like Elon Musk. He was saying in the last biography I read, he said this was during the time when he was going through like a lot of stuff in his life between Tesla, SpaceX, his relationship uh, with one of the girls that he was dating, and he said if you're going through hell, just remember keep going because you'll get through it. Basically, he's like, so just keep going, right? Even if you're going through hell. God damn, I'm only 11. Tommy Lee Funderburg said the worst case scenario is not going to heaven, in my opinion. There's nothing in this world that's worse than that. Texting to another girl, but he's just texting a manager or something at work. God damn, I'm only 11. Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's all about what you think, right? If that's the worst case scenario, and I'm going to heaven, then hey, man, like failing at a business, anything in this world, failing at anything, or not succeeding in anything whatever it is that you're building, it's trivial compared to that, right? So, and that's if you look in the Bible, that's what they were willing to go through because they had a calling from God or whatever it is that they believed, right? And I know there was obviously about God, that they had to do what they had to do, that they had to go through the challenging times and the challenges, like even Moses, like, man, that's a crazy story, right? Like imagine being pretty much the head of Egypt, and then murdering somebody, and then being exiled for 4 years, and then being told to come back, and then when they do accomplish of releasing the people from Egypt, they get to the promised land, pretty much the edge of promised land, and because they were afraid or they didn't believe, they sent them in the wilderness for 40 years. So imagine that. And then Moses didn't even see the promise, and he only saw it from afar. He didn't enter it, right? So it's like, why did he do that? Because he was obedient to God. He was obedient to something bigger than himself. And I think that's what you guys have to realize, is that you guys have to be obedient to your mission, obedient to your vision. And that's really why I'm doing this. I'm obedient to, I believe, my purpose that I have in life, right? So what's your purpose, guys? What are you guys building? What do you guys share with me? I'd love to know. I'd love to know, honestly, like what your purpose, your mission is, your vision is, or if you're going through something hard or challenging, feel free if you want any advice or questions. Would love to support you guys. I'd love to support any founder here that's going through, because, even myself, I don't really talk to many people except for, here on the live stream, or like I have a friend, Paul, that I talk to here and there. But mostly it's just, like people from work randomly, but it's good to have, to share, it's good to share anything. So if you guys are experiencing something that, is challenging, feel free to share. You don't have to share the details, but maybe there's certain things that you want to, kind of like work through, So yeah, I mean, even myself, like I said, last night, I was a mess, I was like, man, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I felt like all this pressure that I couldn't control, needed to be released somehow, So yeah, that's pretty cool. Whatever you drew there, can cook him. Yeah, and especially if you're listening to this at 11, man, what I say to you, bro, is take advantage of where you're at right now. I was just thinking back to when I was 11 earlier today. And I remember this was like when 9/11 happened. And I was in grade 6, and the teacher brought in a TV into the classroom just after the first plane hit, or the second plane hit, I'm not sure. And at that time, I couldn't fathom like how big of a deal that was. I wasn't really taking it in. I was just more concerned about the school that I was in, and also just what was happening at that time. I wasn't really concerned about what was going on at that time. But if I knew what I'm sharing with you back then, okay, at 11, is, man, take advantage of the world around you. At that time, the .com boom was happening, so I wasn't even into that. I wasn't even thinking about building a company or building something for myself. I didn't even think that was possible, like building something with technology, So at the time, I was still doing Taekwondo, going to school. So if you're that age right now, look at what you have your hands on. I know, like even my daughter, I encourage her to, create things, build things, helped her. She's only turning 9, and I've helped her make money last year. Showed her the principles of like sales, right? And selling yourself, your vision, your why, what it is that you're doing. She probably made over $1,000 last year at 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old, and then this year a couple times already. So if I wish I knew what my daughter knew back then, back then now at her age, right? So look into that, do something, create something, especially if you're that young, and take advantage of what's actually happening right now with technology and the advancement of humanity, right? So for you to be on this and staying on this stream and listening to this is huge. It's huge. It says a lot, So yeah, I mean, go enjoy your childhood and follow your interest. I think that's the main thing, is like, you don't have to take advantage of the today, but the main thing I would suggest is, follow your highest excitement, and start working on things that you think might be impossible, and then go after it, right? So, but yeah, shout out to everybody here. Shout out to King Cookium, Tommy Lee, Thunderberg. Who else? Jada Orcut. Who else came here? Where are you guys all tuning in from today? Where's everyone tuning in from? I'm gonna have a drink because yeah, it is sunny. It's getting hot a little bit. You guys can see. Yeah, where's everyone tuning in from today? I'm gonna have a drink here. Bro, it's freezing cold in the Philippines? Oh, I didn't even know that. Hold on 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back. Sorry, guys. It's freezing cold in the Philippines, huh? And why do you always carry a big amount of water? Because when I go to work, I work 12-hour shifts, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So definitely need my water. And this is Kangen water. This is ionized, electrolyzed water. Go search up Dr. Michael Explains Kangen Water. Okay, it's the story of his daughter, Skylar, where she had gastritis. Basically her bowels were on the inside out, and they tried everything, the health protocols, the nutrition, and she was just a baby. They tried everything, and then the one thing that he changed was the water that she was drinking. And he tried everything, like all different types of machines and ionizers. He was a very big skeptic until he was a chiropractor and still is. And until one of his patients or clients said, hey, stop being so hard-headed. Here's a couple jugs of this water. Let your daughter try it. And then once they added that one thing, boom, like she started becoming healthy and it started helping her. So, and even for me and myself, like I haven't been sick for the last 10 years, really. Only a couple times here and there. So, and this water is basically able to, clean your cells properly, detoxify it, hydrate your cells, and then after deliver that the ions that you need, right? Bro, can you give us a tour of your house? I'm interested. No, in another life, no. Definitely not. That's private, bro. Definitely not. Yeah, I know other celebrities do that. They show their house and everything like that, but definitely don't want to know where it is. So I think that's I guess, yeah, definitely not. But anyways, guys, again, I want to remind you, no matter how old you are, and especially if you're a founder and you're going through some tough times, just remember your mission and why it is that you're building. Surround yourself with people that you love, and they're the ones that you're building for anyways. And keep going. All right, guys, thank you for everyone who came. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be alive again tomorrow.